Hey guys, Romie here. Please like, comment, subscribe. Lord, How to Get Away with Murder is back. I am so happy. This is season 3, episode 1. We're all good people now. And we see Wes, well actually we see a body go into an ambulance, and we're assuming that it's Wes's father, but we didn't actually get a good aerial view of the scene. So we just have to assume that it's Wes's father who's in there. And Wes, he gets questioned by the police. Wes, being a lawyer now, he knows what he needs to do. Wes lies, and I'm thinking, Lord Jesus, here we go. Wes lies and says that he was just asking for directions. He was asking for directions, and they asked, will the person on the other line confirm that? And he's just like, yeah, of course. I'm thinking, wait a minute now. What did they do in the background to make sure that that would happen? Or was the person that he was talking to in the background so sketchy that, yeah, they'll confirm something like that? Anyway, Wes calls who else but Annalise. Annalise is called, and we're thinking, why is this happening? Why is this happening? You know why it happened? Frank! Just like what we thought, because it just seemed really out of the ordinary why it would happen, period. But it was Frank. And Frank used Wes. That's what we're going to at least go with for now. That's what we're going to go with for now, because we don't know any better. We don't know any better. We don't know it to be the 100% truth, because you know how Get Away with Murder. This seems like a lot of information all at once. But Frank told Wes, do you want to go and meet your father? And he convinced Wes that, yes, this was Annalise who wanted you to go and meet him. And I'm thinking, what type of... Wait a... Smurf? That's all I'm thinking. That's all I'm thinking. So, what Frank drives Wes, and Wes starts talking to his father. His father gets shot. Annalise is there to let you know that you've been set up, and that Frank did it for me. Annalise doesn't say why, but she just says Frank did it for me, so she tells Wes to get out of the car. Why? Because she just starts screaming. You know, she just has to let it out. I feel like it's a combination of her feeling like, damn it, man, Frank, now you're involving Wes even more into this foolishness. But damn it, man, Frank, thank you, because you were trying to do right by me, and I appreciate it, because it shows that you do love me, you do care for me, but you're still messed up, and I'm still messed up, and I'm surrounded by all these crazy people. I just want some normalcy in my life. But, it's a lot. It is a lot. I forgot how intense this show is. We see Frank, and at this point Wes is yelling too. And Frank is shaving. He's shaving his beard and almost all of his hair. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he looks completely different. If I walked by him in the street, I wouldn't have known. That's how crazy it is. That's how different someone can look with hair and a beard. It's amazing. Now it's back in September, and Wes he takes, of course, his bike as usual to school, and it's just so odd seeing Wes, because he's super tall on that skinny bike. Anyway, Laurel is there, and Laurel's trying to, make small talk. Wes is saying how, he's been away for a while with his girlfriend. So we find out that Wes has a girlfriend, and clearly she's normal, because no one in the group really knows her. So that in itself, to me, is a plus. Good job, Wes. Good job. Laurel's feeling a certain way because she doesn't have Frank now. At least we think she doesn't have Frank now. And that causes her to want to cling on to someone or something else. And that being the someone or something else seems like it's going to be Wes. Seems like it's going to be Wes, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. But Wes, since he has his little girlfriend, he's just distracted. So they're back in class. The classroom, you immediately can tell it's different. It's a different setup from what Annalise normally has. And you see the crew kind of coming back together. We see Asher. Asher, he looks a little different. Everyone definitely looks a little different. Asher looks like Laurel. She has more hair. Asher is kind of rocking a more... not Asher. Connor's rocking a more mature look. West has... beer thing going. And Asher just looks like he lost a little bit of weight, at least in the face. Does any of it really matter? Yes, because they had to show some type of progression because a couple of months have gone by. I love this show because it actually mirrors the real world as far as what would happen in a couple of months' time for people versus, you know, we're spending months and months in the real world on the show that's only occurring in 2 weeks. So shout out to How to Get Away with Murder just for that. And Michaela looks hardened. I will say that. She cut her hair shorter and she looks hardened. And now it looks like they're dealing with a new crop of, you know, smarty pants. This time around, Annalise isn't teaching Law 101 for budding freshmen where she'll go and mentor them to become excellent lawyers. No. Now she's actually teaching a class where people will be doing real cases themselves. So they'll be doing pro bono work. And the first thing that happens is there's Annalise is a killer poster on her, well, technically paper / poster on her board, her pull down board. And so she's just like, oh, you know, someone being stupid. So, you know, her crew's looking like, this is some foolishness. So they have to help this guy. This guy, he's not originally from America. And the issue is he got arrested because he had a fair amount of marijuana on him, so for drug possession. And so they're threatening to deport him. Now, the issue with that is they have to go and figure out how to get him out of it. Annalise, the Keaton Five are not playing around. Regardless of how many months have transpired, they're still like, look, so what are we going to do about this? What are we going to do? Annalise is pretending not to be shook because clearly there's a lot more going on that we don't know about. So she rushes home. She's like, don't worry about it. We're supposed to be normal people now. And we see Bonnie, and Bonnie's trying to tell her about this case and the situation. Annalise doesn't really want to hear it right now. Annalise has a burner phone. She has a burner phone and she's texting for updates and what's going on. And I'm thinking, updates on who? Updates on what? I'm thinking, oh Lord, if that's Frank. But then I realized, no, that doesn't make sense. Then who would it be? But it has to be in relation to Frank because nothing else makes sense. Now, we see back in May, Laurel spoke with Annalise. And Annalise isn't really feeling Laurel right now because Laurel's actually going away to Mexico. Of course, her father, because he does some illegal stuff, he can't go back to Mexico, but she can, and she doesn't really like her family that much, so she's going to actually visit her mom, someone she does like, but because Frank isn't giving her the time of day since Frank decided to up and leave. And she's trying to say, look, Annalise, I did all of that for you. I almost became public enemy with people who could potentially be my friends, just so that I could go and have your back. So don't think that I'm trying to play you. We fast forward, and Bonnie's and Laurel's trying to call Frank, and Frank's answering, well, no, his voicemail is empty, or it has storage, so he's checking it. Now I'm thinking, why does she still have his number? Why does she have a current number of his? He's not picking up, so has she spoken to him ever since he left? Or is this just more so she's starting to feel lonely, she wants to know what's going on. So Laurel goes and she's investigating her client, interrogating her client. And Annalise is trying to figure out, okay, what angle they can pull and what angle they can use for the court case. And you have this smarty pants guy who is basically washing the Keaton Five. Everything that they're saying is trash. At least in Annalise's eyes. Laurel pops up and she finds out because, you know, the guy wanted to do this off the record. Off the record, his daughter was the one who had the marijuana. And of course, being the father, he decided to go and take the charge for her. Now, Laurel's just like, you know, with this, we can go and say it was just a father trying to protect his daughter. But no, aside from him being a father trying to protect his daughter, that's a bad look for his daughter because she also is an immigrant. She might have come to the country when she was a little girl here to America, but she's still an immigrant, so they'll go and deport her instead of her father, and also he lied, so his credibility is shot. So Now it's up to Wes, and Wes comes up with a solution, and Annalise likes it. So now they're going to be the ones in charge of the case. Wes actually did his homework. Wes isn't playing around this season. His head is clear. His new girlfriend, his father's dead, so he played that to rest. And he already forgot about Rebecca. You know, that Rebecca case is closed. So now he's clear-minded. This is the Wes that I think Annalise always wanted from the jump. The Keaton 5 minus Wes. Well, I should say the Keaton 4, if you don't include Wes. They're looking at these posters. Annalise is thinking, gosh, are they moping around already? No. It's someone has a vendetta against her. Annalise, you're a killer. We're trying to figure out who, because that could be anyone. Annalise actually has a lot of enemies. So, back in, I believe, June, she visited Connor. And this is where she finds out that Connor just wants Oliver not to be a part of the Keaton 5 because Oliver is going to try and audition for a spot. And he told Annalise, you know, just based off of what I did for you, us working together, do not give him a spot. Do not do that. Do not do that. Now, mind you, this is while Connor is looking red/pink because he's just getting bathed in the sun. He's just trying to pretend to be normal. He's in this kiddie pool and on the top of the roof, and Annalise joins him, puts her feet in, and it's just like, okay, yeah. So initially, she just tried to do that when Oliver tries to interview for a spot. And so Oliver's trying to say all these credentials, how he had to, into her security, it was actually pretty easy, into her files, did all of that. But, you know, of course, he didn't really look at the stuff, or he's not trying to go and do anything to her. He just wants a spot. And then Annalise is just like, your services aren't required. Thank you. No. But then, oh yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Like this video. And press the notification button for next to the subscribe button, because then you'll actually get to see when I upload a new video instead of wondering, okay, where's the stuff? Because I upload a video almost every day, at least one or two. Anyway, Connor goes and Oliver goes and flips the script because Oliver says, you know, Connor wanted to leave for Stanford, and I deleted those acceptance emails, and I also forwarded the emails and responses to me so that I could go and be in control of that. So he never even knew. He just assumed that he wasn't going to get in. That's why he's still here. And I can be a bad person too. Don't let the soft voice and innocent face fool you. Because Connor's like, you know, we don't want another Asher. That's why he didn't want Oliver to be messed up. I'm thinking, damn. That is true, because Asher really was innocent. He was a rich, spoiled frat kid who got involved with some foolishness because of other people around him. That's the one thing I will say about Asher. It's always been other people around him for the most part that caused a lot of his grief, a lot of the issues. Now, everyone's at Connor's place and Oliver comes through. I'm sure this is after Annalise gives him the job, and he lies and says, well, you know what, I was just patrolling the streets trying to find something. Here comes Asher like, ooh, gay for pay? Like, Asher, I hate you. I hate you so much. Stop. Anyway, Annalise making these moaning sounds. I'm like, no, we're not having a sex scene right now. That's not happening. That's not happening. I don't believe it. But it did involve her police officer, man. And the thing is, he was there because Annalise is dealing with a lot. He wants to check in and see, you know, who's possibly doing this. Annalise is just like, don't worry about it. This could be anyone. And out of all the things that have happened in the past, I'm not concerned. He was rubbing her feet, by the way, at that time. I really do want to know who did it, though. We have Asher, who in July, he goes, and Annalise actually looks like she has peace of mind. She's laughing at him right now. Why? Because Asher needs a job. He's cut off from his family because his father's dead. His mom believes that he played a part in it. So he's basically disowned at this point, and he needs a job. He needs his tuition paid. Annalise said, you know what? You need to do what most people do. Get a job. Get a job. Get a job. Pay for it yourself. you are a rich, spoiled, entitled kid, regardless of what happened to you. And of course, we're all sorry for what happened to your father, but you need to learn how to stand on your 2 feet. And I'm so glad that she said that, because at the end of the day, Asher almost pulled a, I did this for you, so you need to help me out. No, 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 no. Get on your own 2 feet, figure it out. Now, Asher is still having sex, well, at the time, was still having sex with Michaela. Well, yeah, he's still having sex with Michaela, and Asher actually works at the school. He's basically like the resident advisor. And these girls, they're having relationship issues, so they want to speak to him and get his advice. And that's when Michaela sees his notes for the case. So she's like, ooh, haha, he's not really doing anything with them, so I might as well go ahead. Now the case has started, and Wes is interrogating everyone because this is Wes's plan, to go and show that he's a pillar in his community. So they invite everyone that has something nice to say about him. Unfortunately, it's not enough. So at this point, they're just trying to stall, because Michaela comes in late as usual with a plan, and she's like, look, if I talked with the regional prosecutor of sorts, and if we can go and convince them that the guy isn't sure about if he read his rights, something of that nature, the case can be thrown out. Now, Annalise goes and she tries to talk with the person in charge, and they're like, after all the stuff that you pulled, you really think that I'm gonna go and do you this solid? She said, after all the stuff I've pulled, if I can take this and circulate this around, what this will do. And Annalise has that machine behind her, so she can make things happen, even though she bluffs half the time. So everyone is trying to stall for their lives in the court case, so they put his daughter up there. He doesn't want his daughter up there, because if she tells the whole truth, she'll implicate herself. He may get off at a minor charge, but then she could get deported. What ends up happening is, Annalise is able to show that, yes, with this new information about the person not being sure if they said something or if they didn't say something to him, then the case could be thrown out. The judge, she takes a moment and realizes, nope, he's still going to be put away. And while this is all happening, Annalise informs Connor, I'm giving Oliver a job. I'm giving him basically a clerical job so that he's there with us. He feels like he's of value. She's a psychologist as well. He's of value, but at the same time, he's away from the danger. Connor's upset, but he follows Annalise's train of thought. And Annalise also lets him know, he deleted your emails from Stanford. And so he clearly wanted you to be here, thought it was the best for you. He wants to be here too, but you need to go and figure that out. Just know that I'm actually on your side, whether you like me or not. I am on your side, whether it's manipulation or not. Now, Michaela in August got a ticket for drinking and driving, and of course, Annalise saved her from going to jail. Michaela's going through it right now because Michaela is starting to break down. Everything that's happened is causing her to feel like, oh Lord, I can't do this, I can't take this. So she's starting to become the new Annalise. Annalise is like, the reason why I chose you is because of your family issues, because of the fact that you ran away. Because you ran away, you had the strength to run away. You have the strength to deal with this foolishness. So you're going to go, you're going to get it together. And I'm thinking, Lord, if Michaela turns into the new Annalise, that's like one of the few things I definitely don't want to happen. Definitely don't want to happen. Cannot. Oh yeah, and his case was also thrown away because he wasn't seen as trustworthy, so the judge was like, I can't put our faith in your hands either. Wes is still kind of curving Laurel, and it shows. I feel like Annalise gave them this case because she knew that they couldn't win. It's just one of those to teach them a lesson that you see how this feels. Make sure that in the next one, you do everything you can so that this doesn't happen. She does that mental stuff all the time. So Connor goes and confronts Oliver, and Oliver's has this look of, oh my gosh, he's gonna grill me. But no, Connor does the opposite. Connor is very understanding, very loving, and Oliver's like, I don't get it. This isn't a real relationship. You're supposed to be mad at me. You're supposed to be upset with me. I took opportunity away from you. I lied to you multiple times, and yet you're apologizing to me. Not only does that not make me feel good, it makes me feel like it makes you feel worse. Because you know when you mess up, but then someone takes the high road, and it's just like, you know, it's okay. It's all good. And you yell at me, scream at me, make me feel better. But Connor's even like, I love you. Oh, I just want the best for you, all of that. And it almost sounded like a breakup, but that's not what's happening right now. I don't really know what's going to happen with them. All I do know is that we do not lead Oliver going to the wayside because of, you know, the King 5. And Lord Jesus, if it was... Oh my gosh, I just realized who possibly could... Okay, let's get to it. Now, Annalise has a meeting with the new president of the university. The new president, at first I thought, wait, is that Kim Fields? But no. I could see Kim Fields in that role, and I'm a little upset that she's not in that role. But shout out to the actor who is. And she lets Annalise know, yeah, you know that first year criminal law, yeah, that one, no, we can't have you teach that anymore. But instead, you can teach this other class. And so that's the class that she's teaching now. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it is, I guess, as far as power and position and what you really want, you know, budding minds and all of that, it is a step down. It's not, you know, anyone's real first choice. So Annalise is pissed because she's like, wait a minute. Why are you guys doing this? Just because of stuff that was happening in my personal life, I still show that I can put in the work. She said, nah, actually, the people that you handpicked last year, they had the lowest scores. They had the absolute lowest scores. Now, mind you, this newbie did tell them that. It was just like, if it wasn't for Annalise picking you guys wouldn't even be in this class. So yeah, it's true. Annalise's people had the lowest scores because they were dealing with murder. They were dealing with murder. They were dealing with the police. They were dealing with more than most of those lawyers will probably ever have to deal with in their life. But, of course, they can't let anyone know that. So she's like, yeah, you're going to teach this class. Now, she said pro bono. Thankfully, pro bono, I guess meaning that she has more control of the cases. They can take on certain cases and all of that. Annalise is over it. She's still highly upset. And she's drinking a lot more. Well, she's back to her drinking. She's trying to figure out who's trying to post these killer stuff. Bonnie's like, do you think it's Frank? Did you kill Frank? She said, no, I didn't kill Frank, and I don't think that it's Frank. Frank, I don't even know where Frank is. So, we get to Laurel and Wes, and Laurel finally just goes to Wes' apartment and talks to him. It's just like, why are you curving me? Is it because of Frank? Is it like, what's going on? What did I do? Wes says, it's because of Frank. When I look at you, I see Frank. She's like, I've never done anything to you that on the level of Frank's. It's like, I know, but I just can't help it. And because of Frank doing everything that he did, I just can't trust her. I just can't look at you the same. I can't. I'm sorry. Now I'm thinking this conversation needs to end fast because Wes thought his girlfriend was coming through. She does. She just barges in like, hey, I'm home. And at first I was like, uh-oh, here we go. I actually paused. I was like, oh no. But then as soon as she said, hey, I'm Wes's friend Laurel, she was like, oh my gosh, Laurel. It was like, huh? It was like, no, for someone that Wes likes so much, I need to give him a hug. I'm like, oh, this girl's so sweet. Wes, don't screw this up. Wes, you're gonna screw this up. Don't screw this up. Don't play her. But it's just like, yeah, Wes talks about you all the time, and Wes had this, ta-da. Just because I'm not talking to you directly doesn't mean that I still feel a certain way about you. Come on, Laurel. So Laurel just had this, oh, he does. Oh, okay. I'm like, Laurel, stop it. He's in a relationship. Now, while Bonnie's cleaning up, Annalise calls this guy, and this guy has been tailing Frank the whole time. We're thinking, okay, she's like, I need you to do something. And Viola Davis is such a good actor. She's so good because she just had this scene. She didn't know what to do, and it was real because it's like, do I take care of Frank? Do I not take care of Frank? I'm not a killer. I just told Bonnie I'm not a killer. I'm not a killer. If I do this, I'll officially be a killer. This guy killed because of, I'm not sure. Next thing we know, Frank has the guy yoked up, and it's just like, turn, hang up now, close the phone, and I think that really was Frank's telling that to Annalise because so that he doesn't hear what he is going to do to that guy. Next week's episode, this season is back. I'm so excited. But the end of this episode actually occurred where the original scene that we saw, it wasn't of Wes's father being killed. It was actually someone being killed at Annalise's house. Her house is burning. She's like, I live here. She gets through. She barges through security, everything. They open the ambulance door. They show her the dead body, and she's like, no! And I feel like it was actually a real cry, but she's good at acting, so it could be either. It could be either or, but I'm thinking, Lord, don't let it be Oliver, don't let it be Wes, and don't let it be Bonnie. Because those are the three people that I think that if it was someone that she actually cared about, it would be one of those three. Out of everyone. So that was it. Oh, it's back. Again, please like, comment, subscribe if you are a first-time viewer, or even if not, make sure to click that thumbs up button. Leave a comment on your thoughts. I have a whole lot of the shows that I review, so subscribe and just check out my channel.